is just fantastic.
Captain's log, subdate 210211.3. We've managed to get the ship efficiency up to 53%. Yay. This means that shields are just about online. So to test this, we've put some of the inmates from the ISO cubes in scuba gear and bounced them off the shields for lols. Welcome everyone to the 100th exhibition of stupid people. Yeah, 100. I'm quite proud of that, although at the same time, the fact we got this far speaks volumes of the level of stupid around the world, or to those who are flat earthers, on that flat disc that's attached to the back of a turtle. Is that how it works? Doesn't matter. I have 5 subjects for you today and 1 honourable mention. The honourable mention comes from a statement from Phil Defranco. I'd like to apologise for part of today's show. I've seen your responses and I understand that words matter. When I was covering the Resident Evil Village reaction story about everyone losing their mind over Lady Dimitrescu, I said the general reaction was everyone wanted her to sit on them. But it's now been brought to my attention that it was actually sit on, step on and or choke them. That's my mistake. No matter the reason, at the end of the day it's my name on the show. When I talk about almost 10 feet tall busty goth vampires who could overpower you easily and treat you like a play toy, I need to navigate that topic with care. I should have known better. I'm going to take some time to reflect and I hope the next time we see each other, we can start with a clean slate. So on to the first subject. We go to one of my favourite sports, boxing. I have been an avid fan of boxing. I have partaken in boxing for well over 25 years. There are 4 major governing bodies, the WBC, the WBA, WBO and the IBF. Many people have the view of, that's too many, it should just be one. Well, some came into the game later than others. Doesn't matter. They are the 4 recognisable and most known governing bodies. Usually it's because they had one champion that held their belt that everyone knows them for. The WBC, arguably Muhammad Ali. The IBF, possibly Mike Tyson, but he did hold everything else at some other point. I guess it depends on where you are. The WBA is one of the oldest. The WBA has done its greatest recently to utterly devalue what it means to be a world champion. To do this, around the time David Haye lost to Vladimir Klitschko, which meant he lost his WBA heavyweight title, the WBA created a super variant and a regular variant of the world title. The person who held the super title would not be required to defend it as often as that of the regular champion, meaning they had 2 world champions within one organisation. This is something I've had an issue with for a long time. My view, 1 champion. This became a big problem for me when I was a huge fan of Carl Froch, and Andre Ward was the super champion. But Andre Ward didn't box for nearly 3 years because of promotional problems, yet he retained the WBA super title status. I never understood that. More recently, the WBA have introduced other belts to water down what it is to be a champion. Essentially, you are a paper champion at best if you hold any of their titles, unless it's the super belt, but then you're called the super champion. It makes no sense to me at all. The belt does look nice. It used to be, by the way, with the WBA, if you defended your WBA title 5 times successfully, you were promoted to super champion status and granted a title belt more fitting of that status. The last person I know who had that and won it successfully was Amir Khan. It was quite an exquisite belt. Very different as well. The point, I guess, is the WBA has watered it down more recently with belts like the Gold Champion. I haven't got a clue what that means. It has now led to World Boxing News coming to a decision that I agree with. They are no longer going to recognise the WBA as a sanctioning body. Now, I know many people say that means nothing, but I actually think it leads down a rather interesting path, one I fully support, where organisations like the WBA have to seriously consider what it means to be a champion And if all they're going to do is make it so that essentially any fighter gets a participation belt, they have watered down and ruined what it means to be a champion. Many people would kill to get their hands on one belt. Many people wouldn't want their belt to mean nothing because you've done everything you can to make it so even the loser has a title. To move on from that, we're going to go to Tipster. He made a video on Lissy Knoll. Now I intend to make a video as well. There are some points here and there I think worth addressing, but I'm not going to use any of her content because I'm a dick. Copyright claims something where there's nothing of you in it. Good luck. I'm shooting for Monday for that, by the way. Under his video where she DM'd him and he went through those DMs, TFZ Gaming and Design replied, "What a joke, dude," with a timestamp. Well, maybe you reporters shouldn't target people that didn't do anything to you to deserve your criticism in the first place, and then maybe she wouldn't abuse the system. Seems to me that y'all forced her into this, just saying. First things first, your inability to comprehend basic grammar is disgusting. Get help. Second, reporters, anyone that does commentary, doesn't target somebody. They highlight the person and their fault. If they've made a mistake, that is the point. It is not considered targeted harassment, which is what you've implied by using the word target. I preferred Shermanation, but she's not my type. She's too dumb. And when you say, people that didn't do anything to you to deserve your criticism, tells me you didn't watch any of the previous content, and if you did, you ignored the valid points Tipster raised, which speaks volumes about the level of mind you're operating with. I'm just surprised you're capable of digesting your own food at this point. And then, she wouldn't abuse the system. That's an interesting turn of phrase. You admit she does it. But she had no choice because she's not in the wrong. Senpai, notice me, let me lick your toes. Moving on, we're now going to go to two subjects concerning race baiting. The first of which comes from a Golden Globe nomination for Lily Collins. She is the daughter of Phil Collins, and in case you didn't know, she's also white. One of those disgusting people I know. People have decided because somebody else who should have been nominated in others' minds is a person of colour and was not nominated, this is instead a race issue. So I'm going to put this statement in here now. If you are nominated for an award within the field of acting, and you are solely selected because of the colour of your skin, that is not an award you want to win, because it doesn't champion you and your talent. It solely champions you as a token, which is not empowering in the slightest. I am not familiar with the work of Michaela Coel, nor that of Lily Collins, oddly enough. But because people have devolved this down to race and because of connections, it's devalued the contribution of an actress for the sake of elevating another, which is another point. You can't seem to elevate two people, you have to tear someone else down so that the other person is staying where they are, but they're on a higher platform to the person you've torn down. Again, not understanding the very basic principle of empowering. To move on from that, we're going to go to another race bait article. Now this one you can take with a pinch of salt if you like. It is written by Paul Joseph Watson. I'm not going to be drawn in on whether or not he is a credible source, but he does cite a bunch of tweets which are relevant to the subject. Over the weekend, Tom Brady won his 7th Super Bowl. Congratulations to Tom Brady. Understandably, there are a number of people who Paul Joseph Watson has zeroed in on because they have decided to take the loss, the L, because the quarterback for the other team is a person of colour during Black History Month and imply that Tom Brady is a racist for winning during Black History Month, which to me is a bit of a reach, but I get the point. If anything, I expect people to be salty when they lose. I myself am a Dolphins fan. Not even a joke. I've been a Dolphins fan for about 20 years. By all means, rip into me in the comments. I don't mind in the slightest. I'm happy to take the L. I just want to buy a new shirt. Is it too much to ask for a new shirt? I still have a Zach Thomas shirt that is 3 sizes too big for me from 10 years ago. Possibly longer. Anyway, on to the final subject. We go to Texas. Now, I don't know if anyone was paying attention to this, but there was an Amber Alert issued within the state of Texas. This came from the Texas Public Safety Department, who on January 29th issued an alert for a suspect, and I actually thought this was a Babylon Bee story. Not even joking, I genuinely did. Turns out no. The abducted child is called Glenn, 5 years old, white, blue eyes, auburn hair, 6 pounds, 2'3", male. The suspect, Chucky, 28 years old, race, other, doll, eyes, blue, hair, auburn. Weight, 16 pounds, height, 3'1", and male. Here are the alerts, by the way. So this is because of a test malfunction. That is a quote from the department itself. And they've apologized for the confusion that they've cited Chucky, not from Rugrats, but those delightful movies, as both the victim and the suspect. Well, aren't we just a little precious? If you were a YouTuber, I'd be calling you a smeghead. But I'm not. This has been glorious, by the way. Before we finish, I'm going to stream on Twitch tonight some Assassin's Creed. I also want to take the opportunity again to say thank you. Thank you for helping me get to 100. That's brilliant. It might be amusing to know we've covered so many subjects, but to me it shows a level of dedication and commitment to something I enjoy. And I've always enjoyed making these videos, and I will always continue to do so. And I hope you enjoy them too. I will, of course, be trying to improve them as we proceed to break into 200. I will try my best. If I don't see you on Twitch, have a fantastic day. Thank you all very much, not only for 100, but for listening.